Hello and welcome back. We got a treat for you all today. I'm going to go ahead and cast one of my games. I thought that was really interesting to watch. I reviewed it. Obviously, I played it. I'm excited to show what happens. If you watch the stream, you probably saw it and you might remember this game. So I understand if you don't want to hang out. This one might be redundant for you. But for those of you that have not, this is a little bit of a treat for you. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. I didn't load it online because why do we want to do that? It's not a too terribly long game, so we're going to talk about what both players did well and what both players, of course, could improve upon. This is about 3,800 MMR, a little bit less than 3,700 at the time for both players. It's a TVP, obviously, so we're going to speed up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and take a peek at what's going on. I went and scouted, attacked with my worker just so I can be annoying. So I get a nice little notification saying, hey, it's happening. And then trying to slow down them from building their nexus or a little bit, which is all you really need, just a touch. The probe went on the other side, and sneaky, which is fine. I'm not worried about that too much. They're coming in to check, make sure they don't lose to the Reaper, which is great. I understand why you do that stuff. Keeping the Reaper alive is very important. Because Depths versus Reaper is one way to cause headaches. I missed that shade. So you can see that we're being very active on the map, trying to keep ourselves busy but not losing too much. Ooh, almost lost a Marine there. An Adept can take out Marines. I think the number of Marines you need is 3 per Adept to not lose the units. He came in, saw that I was doing a 3-1-1. So he has full information. You can go ahead and see what their vision is. 3-1-1. And then you can see that I don't know what they're going. They're doing a Gateway Explosion with Robo behind. But I am doing a build with a ton of Marines, being really aggressive, being really annoying. Because I'm doing this attack before I have a medevac, it's very dangerous for me. And generally speaking, you're going to lose all these Marines. I don't know if that was why I made that decision. Probably just trying to be busy, trying to get the Adept dead, and make it so my opponent actually stops harassing. I have an observer here, keeping a good eye on everything. Adept comes in. I think he gets 1 kill. Yep, 1 SCV goes down. All these Marines still hanging out, just kind of giving me an idea if my opponent's going to attack. We're going to move all my Marines out. We have no Stargate on the build yet, so at this point, I don't know this, but I'm going to eventually cause my opponent a lot of headaches. The reason being is because I'm going to have dropships. Dropships are really tough to deal with if you don't have anything in the air to protect against it. I need to focus down those stalkers. I eventually do, or try to. Not a bad choice, but just something that those Marines I shouldn't have. I took out a bunch of Zealots. That was not great. So I made a couple of little mistakes. You can see that I picked up for the drop. I was immediately moving his observer. So where are the stalkers? Why aren't you putting your stalkers in position when you saw that happening? There it is. Okay. Starting to do it now. I'm starting to build out. I'm expecting an Oracle at some point. I'm just surprised I haven't seen one. I'm trying to expand, make it so that I am not stuck on 2 bases. Really rough to do. My opponent, I see the stalkers. I get out of there, making it so that I don't lose my drops. This is going to keep my opponent pinned back at home. This is the equivalency of mutas. So when you see a player doing anything like this, mutalisks, drops, the reason that they do that is to keep you at home. They want to do damage to you. They want to make you come hang out. They want to be annoying as possible. They don't really... It's important that you're not attacking me at this point. That's all I care about right now. I want to make sure that my opponent is going to be struggling against my army in some way or the other. I'm going to lose all those Marines. Yuck. The longer I can keep you at home, the better. I misclicked. That's why I was bitching. Some problems. So at this point, I am very far behind. I got 2 Liberators, 17 Marines, and 1 dropship. My opponent has this gigantic army. If they had crossed the map, they would kill me right now. But because I'm being over here, just being generally annoying, they had to recall part of their army to prevent me from killing more workers. They have 55 workers, I have 38. This is not good for me. My opponent is way out mining me, way outstripping everything I'm doing, is in a really good position with regards to doing a lot of different things. Kill this nice little drop. They had so many workers here, 29, because of this Liberator. They just sent it all over. Again, I'm just trying to do things to cause headaches for my opponent. Little things to make them stay back, make it so they don't spend their money. Their money is not what they want. Keeping myself on my keeping myself busy, keeping them at home. This is a 76 supply versus 105 supply army game right now. My opponent has all the cards. They're oversaturated in multiple bases. They have enough army. They have everything. One drop, one singular drop, is keeping them 100% at home. And I'm just sitting here slowly building up, doing tech, getting ready to do damage. And that's it. One drop. It's all it takes to keep my opponent at home. The reason being is because our skill level, they don't have the ability to, the skill set and knowledge on how to split up their army 100% correctly. So they're not positioning everything exactly where they need to have it. So they're like indecision on where they should go. Should I attack over here? Should I attack over here? Where should I put this army? What things should I break? What's being annoying? What's the problem? How can I prevent myself from dying at home? This was really fun because I'm over here on the other side taking out a base while distracting them with this little drop here. They only have 2 stalkers, and I'm going to kill both of those stalkers, killing a base, and all they did was they killed this one base. And I'm keeping them on 2 base. That's really tough, and I'm taking out all their production, which is hilarious. This army needs to move forward, killing what I can over here. 43 worker saturation, 0 on gas. You're going to have a lot of problems as a Protoss if this is what you have to deal with. I got him to come home. I have him supply capped. I'm getting my army out. I'm still over here just causing problems with their production. This is not what you want to have happen as a Protoss. Workers idle, but I understand why. They're trying to figure out where I'm at, trying to get themselves into a good position. But they just can't get to me because I have all these medevacs. 113 supply to 182. And they can't do anything about it because they just are at home dealing with a medevac at this point. They don't know where, they didn't get their production back properly. I mean, it takes them a long time to do so. They're supply capped. They're oversaturated. They're long distance mining. They're not getting any gas whatsoever. So we're going to see zealots and that's it. This person has idle workers. I have stressed them out and freaked them out so badly that they don't know how to fight this. That was an F2. That was me being bad, by the way. That medevac should have been over here doing more damage. But it's because I knew his army was coming. Gotta kill. Gotta do what I can, right? He's gotta move through Marines. I got Libs shooting down on him. He's focusing Marauders, not the Liberators. Liberators are the damage dealers. You don't want those doing damage to your army. Now he's got to take out a Planetary with a Zealot, handful of workers. Man, just all kinds of bad decisions, unfortunately for him, because he's oversaturated terribly. Still, no income. I'm over here still putting pressure on him. I've been behind on supply all game long. My opponent losing more units that are vital for what they need to do. Can't do a recall because they've already used it. At this point, my opponent is basically, I have done so much to distract them. They sent workers to the wrong side of the map by rallying wrong. I think it's this one of them. So at this point, my opponent is trying to figure out how to win. They are now finally behind in supply. They were not able to handle what I gave them with regard to distraction and stuff. They got really mad. Again, unpowering resupply cap, doing my best to resupply cap. He's getting mad. This is all he's got. The joke here is that he made all the mistakes, and I forced him to do so. All right, let's go ahead and talk about each player did well and which player did poorly. Obviously, we got to skip back a little bit so that way we can hear the music and all that kind of stuff. Things that I did well. I was active constantly. I made my opponent I forced my opponent to deal with me. I was on the other side of the map all the time, constantly doing damage, making sure that they were annoyed, making sure they were distracted, making sure I could do things at home. I'm not good enough to say that I was being beyond or whatever, but I was good enough at making sure my opponent had something on their table at most of the game to keep them busy. My opponent did not do well at all with regards to any of the distractions I was creating. They lost production, all that kind of stuff. I focused down the things that were important. I supply capped them. I made it so I got workers. I was doing literally everything in my power just to make it so they had issues at hand the whole time we were playing. Things that I could have done better. I could have expanded, made sure my expansions were better and sooner and earlier, right? Making sure that I was doing what... God, supply depot. I know what happened there. I had both of them on there. One Marine was like here and one was here when I raised it, and because I wanted to stop this from happening, he still would have had full information. But I wanted to stop that from happening, and I didn't get away with it because my Marines were in the way of themselves. Of the wall, rather. Alright, sorry. Other things I could have done better. I could have done production a little bit earlier, making sure I did that, making sure my supply cap doesn't happen. I did a little bit right here, obviously. It's not noticeable because I wasn't producing that, but it's just one of those kind of things where this command center being so late was, a mistake. Other things I could have done better. I could have found where my opponent's army was. Could have sent out Marines just spotting, like one Marine here, one Marine here, one Marine over here, blah, 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 right? Just send a Marine hanging out versus what I was doing. My build was a little sketchy, but that's also because he denied my orbital command for so long. On the other side of the map, my opponent did a really, really good job of harassing me, timing his one probe to dodge my Reaper and be just straight up annoying. I should have focused on the shield battery. I like how he used the shield battery overcharge immediately. The reason he does that is because you have the regen power speed is significantly faster. And so that way you can actually you don't consume any of your energy, you just recharge your shields super fast. So this stalker could never die. Things my opponent needed to do. He needs to check his eco a lot more often. This is perfect, no problem. Oversaturated, no gases, isn't spending their money. So they need a natural sooner, or a third sooner. They need to have their gases pulled in sooner, so on and so forth, right? This floating resources is killing them, right? Imagine if this was 200 gas and they had, an extra couple of units being produced. I think all the warp gates are actually busy. So even building 2 or 3 extra gates, imagine how much bigger his army could have been. Or having the natural, or the third going down, etc. I understand that he's really scared because he saw those Marines and I pulled them back. And he doesn't know where they are. So I understand why you wouldn't expand. I'm not saying he should have expanded there. I was just articulating these are things that you need to be attentive to or aware of. God, killing zealots with Marines is so fucking terrible. You have to have that critical mass or you're not going to do it. At this point, he needs to go across the map. He knows what army I have. He's killed everything off. But he didn't build those extra gates. He decides to expand instead, which is fine. Again, decisions he made. Other things that need to not happen. Artosis pylon, Artosis pylon, Artosis pylon, Artosis pylon. You need a minimum, in my opinion, of 2 pylons per 2 structures. That's actually a really bad ratio. Per 4 production buildings or research buildings, you need a minimum of 2 pylons. The reason being is because you want to have that time to produce stuff and make sure that you're good to go with regards to not losing your production. Long distance mine this. At this point, long distance mine. You could take 6 of those workers and it'll be better off than what he's doing. Sorry. I digress. Point being is this my opponent has way too many workers there, and that's causing a headache for... They're not getting the income. And then obviously if you're long distance mining, you just grab those and set them there a little bit. So many pylons. That was slow of me. Tap out. Yay. Okay. Other things. Ignore drops or split your army properly. If I'm dropping, what am I going to have at home? If you go and watch any Terran, they're only going to have a small contingency of army at home. So what you want to do is you want to force them, like you want to make the game end. You have the ability to recall. I don't. So take a big contingency of army and send them across the map. Just select like this army, a move over there, and then whatever your reinforcements are, that's what you want to keep at home. That's what you defend with. Also, this Liberator being annoying. Hilarious. I tried to get it out. I tried. Think of them as muta, like think of drops as mutas. We're gonna be doing things to do damage a little bit here and there, and we're gonna try and slow you down and distract you. This army could kill me. This could kill me. This one drop shouldn't kill you. Obviously, at this point, I have a big army now, but like, imagine if they had attacked with their army a lot earlier. Also, gas saturation is really bad. Again, fix your economy, and you win every time, Mr. Protoss. All you had to do was just fix your eco, and I had him so tied up and distracted. He didn't even have full gas here. No gas here, right? This is not good for him. So, very good game. I actually thought I was going to lose for a lot of this game. If you were watching the stream, I was like, oh god, I'm going to die. I didn't actually say it like that, but I felt that way. And then when I won, I was like, yeah, I took it, right? This game was very much in the Protoss' hands most of the time. But what ended up happening was I just was able to keep them at home for so long that they eventually took the L, and that sucks for them. And distractions and killing things like their expansions, keeping them on the same number or fewer bases, Terran generally is going to be your best base-to-base comparison. Terran is your strongest on fewer bases. So, but yeah, this army needed to be a little more active. This army was great. I thought I did come over here and kill this stuff. Gosh, gotta make it so it's harder. Look at that supply cap. Yuck. Didn't do anything about this. I love it. My opponent has no gas, has no minerals, because all I've done is distract from this location, have them oversaturated, pulling off of those different locations, just constantly. That's really tough to deal with. Also, I'm out of energy. I should have gotten out of there way sooner. Way sooner. Obviously, I just grouped the whole thing and didn't care, because that's more important than me fighting with those 2 or 3 points. But yeah, look at this. Fix this. Get that. That's fine. Get that. Get this with the workers you have here. And suddenly the game is the Protoss's. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. And that was a fun one. Very fun to see be in a situation where you're very far behind the whole game and still take the victory. GG's.